Welcome to the Painful Life. Today we are doing a nailed it type of video. It can either end up looking really cool or just a complete mess and end up in the trash. So it's going to be a nailed it or a trash it type of video. And what I am doing today is kind of going back in time and making me a Easter egg. And I don't know if you did when you were a kid. I know I did way back. I think we did it once and it was such a mess we never redid it. But where you make a paper mache egg out of newspaper, water, and flour is how we made ours. Well, I'm not gonna. You know how hard it was for me to actually find newspaper? I didn't find it. I could have gone over to Hobby Lobby and buy some newsprint paper and use that, but that's like $10, so I'm not gonna do that. And I've seen people just use plain old napkins and stuff, and then applying just layering it with some other plain thin paper to give it a little more smoother texture at the end. And today I'm gonna use some paper Mache for paper ones, and I figure I want to do some other paper stuff anyway, so might as well use this. And I'm just gonna use this with a little bit of water and the glue. Kind of thin it out a little bit, and we're also going to, I've seen some where they use string as well, and they wrap it around the balloon and stuff, and so I figured I'd give that a try as well because I've never done it before, and why not? So let's get started. This will actually take me a couple days to make or more because you have to let it dry for quite a while. So first off, you need some balloons. Oh, these are some cloth colored gel pen type of thing you use on material, so I figure it'd be good on the string and or on the paper, but we can see what they look like. I got some Mache. Let's put that to the side. I got some for my paper mache one. I have some different little eggs. I figured this will go around the center part of it, and I could do this color, but I decided to do these ones all in black and white and just some doodled designs. I also did some on one of my live streams. I did some just random flowers and chickens and Easter egg bunnies and some more flowers and some pretty sparkly eggs and some other ones. So these ones will be a little more color. I can add them in. I also have some chalk paint that's black, and I can paint wherever I don't have the designs in them black. And then I have some of these chalk creative experts, but these are you use water or whatever, and you can wipe them off and redo designs. But I figured these are very bright. I can add that to the chalk paint as well and use that as well. And maybe I might use it, maybe I won't, but we'll see. First off, let's blow up a balloon. Please don't let these things pop in my face. Close my eyes. I thought they'd be bigger. That's what she said. Alright. Let's see. These are going to be small eggs, but yeah. Would expect they're like 99 cents. If you hear a scream, it popped. I'm so nervous to blow these things up. I think I'm not going to push it in. Plus, I don't want to have an overly big freaking balloon, because I know I'll end up biting off more than I can choose. Okay, that's pretty big. Slightly small. I'll do this for the string and this one for the paper mache. Let's get started with the paper mache. And voila, done. Alright, let's get some water. I'm using a really old paintbrush. This is kind of a crappy one. My grandma uses this for ceramics and stuff, but it's just the synthetic thing, so it's not really good for much. I'll do some Mache in here, and hopefully I don't have to use all of it. Clean that off later. A little bit of water. That's actually a lot of Mache. Glue. Hopefully I don't just screw it up. We'll see. Not, I have a whole bunch of Elmer's glue. I know I probably don't need to put it right on the balloon. This is just going to be basically the undercoat. The undercoat. This is going to be the first layer, and so I don't really care too much if there's texture on it and everything. I'm going to have a final layer that's more of the smooth paper. And I am going to make me a mess. This is probably going to be a really bad idea. I think I might just put this into hyper mode, and because I'm going to have to do a couple of videos, and this is not the most exciting thing to do. And now I got glue all over my hands, and I'm going to touch my phone because I did not think this stuff out. Actually, that wasn't too bad on the thickness for the glue. I should have made these little paper a little thinner so I don't have as many wrinkles. On the next layer I probably will. Let's get this here. Oh, well, that was interesting. Alright, let's do this on hyper mode. See why we only did this thing once. This thing is messy. I didn't want to use all the Mache at once, so I kind of went to the cheaper, the cheaper Elmer's imitation glue, and well, it doesn't do well with water. It's still kind of clumpy and gross, so I don't know how well that will do. I might have to do some more Mache, maybe buy a little bit more. I know the flour and water worked pretty well when I was a kid, and it pretty much made it in concrete afterward. So I'm going to let this dry for the first layer, and then I'll put another layer but with different type of paper on it, and I want to at least get 2 or 3 layers. I want at least 2 layers so it's nice and firm when I pop the balloon, and it's going to be going to a 2 or 3 year old, so they'll probably end up throwing it, you know. So let's put this over the side, let it dry, and let's see if I can figure out how to do the one for the lovely string one. This one might just be a no-go, but we'll give it a try. It's something I've seen and they look really cool. You can actually get different types of string, like over at Hobby Lobby they have like the colored one. Since Joanna was like dying, I bought some stuff from them, and so we're gonna do that. I know a lot of people just kind of take the balloon and start wrapping it, and they'll just like wrap it over and over and over, and then it just keeps, you know, falling off. So I think I'm gonna put some glue. I'm gonna tie it. I'm gonna put some glue on it, or maybe just on the balloon itself. This is going to be really, really messy. Hopefully it will stay, and I'll probably just tie the balloon, the string, the first one up here. See if I can get it at least anchored. I'm going to need a bath after this. And then I'll just kind of put some glue on the string, and then turn it. Whoops. Doesn't help that the balloon itself is not magnetic, but you know, staticky. And then I'll just kind of do some thing here, and then twist. I'll get some more glue on the balloon itself. It kind of helps keeping it stuck down, but it's really, really freaking messy doing it that way. And if it starts to slide on you, just add some glue to your string and or balloon to kind of keep it cooperating a little bit. And just kind of go into different angles. Whee! Ever so often adding more glue as you need it. This is going to take a while. Alright. Well, if I touch this thing and try to do it in hyper mode, I'm going to lose all the string. So I'm just going to keep doing this till I get enough on here, and then I'll just push pause and you're going to see, voila! Look at that. It's automatically done. God damn it. Yeah. I give up on that. Shit. I'm just going to stick with paper mache. I'm going to take out everything that I talked about doing this. Don't do it. It's a mess. It's up. Don't do this. I like, yeah. That's a nope. And now I just got glue all over my thingy. That's a nailed it. I might just let it dry just for shits and giggles and see if it holds its shape, but I think that's pretty much a big old spaghetti ball of nothing. I'm gonna just take whatever's here and just kind of, I don't even know how I can do this. Stick some strings in here, stick some stuff in here. Pretty much how you have to do it. You get it started and then just get some string and hair and tie it off. I stick with the paper mache, not this messy piece of. That's why you don't see a lot of these things anywhere, because it's. I don't have the patience for this. Maybe I'll. Where's my brush? One last coating of gunk in hopes that it will hold this stuff up. Oh, look at that. That thing just... my arms are starting to hurt trying to do this stupid thing. It might look cool if I get enough glue on it and it makes it stiff. Now, if I put some paper mache over it, it might be okay, because then it would give it kind of some really bumpy looks to it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. You know, maybe I can do paper mache string, because I don't think there's any way this thing is savable. So let's do that. Oh, I'm not ready. Maybe I'll even have some string sticking out, which is kind of, this is going to be a let's see what happens project. This is going to be modern art. That's what I'm telling myself. This is going to be modern freaking art. Pretend I had planned to do this like this. I'll put some glitter on it and say, voila! I can sell it for millions and a half dollars. Millions and a halves. Just like the banana on the wall. This is going to be worth a boatload of money. I won't even have to win money on the lottery to retire, because this Easter egg is going to just totally do it. And I'm out of stuff. Dang it. Art project in process when it's done. And they'll be like, did you finish it? Mm-hmm. It's finished. It's called I Give Up on Life project. Be like one of those projects you start and never finish. This is one of them. This is one of them. But this is going to be made to look like you meant to do it. Not that you gave up halfway through. No, I didn't give up halfway through. I meant to do this. Right? Now, probably this one that I'm so upset with and didn't like and was so frustrated with it, probably end up looking the best looking one, you know? That's usually how it is. Be somebody out there, I will pay you $500,000 for that. Okay. Turn it into a... Actually, probably put some, like, sparkly lights inside it. It'd probably look cool. Maybe. Maybe that's an idea. So, voila. And I can't touch my phone, so it's going to be... I'll come back later when that thing dries, and you can see how much of a monstrosity this thing is afterward. Because I got glue all over my hands, so I can't adjust the thing. So let's put this to the side, let that dry, go clean up some of this stuff before it becomes permanent. I'll see you next time. I went and did this one. The one that I was unhappy with is actually the one I'm most happy with. It actually firmed up nicely with these strings and stuff and having the holes open. I'm gonna do some of the ones on this one instead of that monstrosity. I'm gonna probably end up painting the other one. I did some flour and water on this one. I might end up having to freaking sand the dang thing because it is like, it's a mess. I'm gonna let it dry and see if it, because before it wasn't firming up and it was like still kind of crunchy, so I was hoping with the second layer, and I used just some plain old white paper that I cut up into smaller squares, and then with some of the flour and water, half and half, I'm hoping maybe that will make it more gluey, but I should have whisked it because now I have lumps in it. And so note to yourself, if you ever decide to do this, I don't know why you'd want to, because it is this is why we never did it again after we did it once as kids, because it is a complete S show. So I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to take some water, and I'm going to see if this Mod Podge I was a little bit better with, liked it a little bit better. I think I have too much water in here. Well, I'll just, hopefully I don't use it all up. Put some of the Mod Podge in there. I'm gonna get a marker. Okay, shake, shake, shake your body, shake it all around. Something. And then you take it. Whoop, oh. And you're supposed to. Whoopsie. That pulled out. Well, one off. I'm gonna probably do a little bit of a little. These are deco fabric. Got them over at the soon-to-be non-existent Joann's. Not as smelly as the other deco stuff. Don't even get up here. I've got glue. That's all I need to use is to step in it. No, 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 no. Stay away, Jinx. Should probably end up trying to lick it or something. Note to yourself, that works pretty good. Where's the other one? I have a blue one as well. Yo, that worked really nice. And I should probably do this last. It's sparkly though. It's so pretty. I'm gonna get this all over myself. Oh shoot, I forgot to have my light on. There we go. You didn't have to leave. I just didn't want you on my thingy. I'm going to see how well some of these little thingies are, and I can always paint them after. I don't want to get too much on the outside in case it runs. So I don't know how well, let's see. What does that look like if I put it over the top? Is it going to make it run? This is done with pencil, so it's not too bad. Some eggs. The little chicken egg. Okay, this works pretty good with pencil. I'm gonna get this all. And I have some chalk paint that I might come over a little bit later. That's right, I got the colors for her. my bunny is upside down. See if this will. This one is the watercolor. Oh, not too bad now that it's dried some. And I'm kind of I'm gonna have to do this in a couple stages because it's starting to make the things a little bit, softening the egg a bit. So let's see. Some butterfly. Whoops! Ow. Making a mess. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. I am making a mess. I should probably just done, instead of watering it down, I probably should have just done some full-on glue on the backside. But we'll see. I can always add some more. That one is running a little bit. I think I'm going to leave that as is. I can always add some eggs on here later. I was going to go around like that. I might not. I might just put that one on here and keep that black and white. I'm going to let that dry and see what it looks like tomorrow. And it's probably going to look like a big old mess is what it's going to look like. Alrighty. I'm going to put this to the side and let it dry and clean up my mess. Welcome back. I got both of these. Some nice holes in them. I cut out the string on this one, and these are this was actually turned out really firm with the string in them, and it's kind of cool having some of the spotlight and stuff in them, so, you know, might be kind of a cool design. We'll see. And this one, I actually did a second coat with some water and flour, and it really made it very stiff. I still need to make some bottoms on it, but it made it very stiff. And then I just used some normal paper and cut them into small squares as well. Now, I would recommend you blending your flour and water a lot better than I did. I just used like the spoon. I should use like a whisk or put it in a processor or something like that to make it a little less lumpy, because it's kind of noticeable. On the top, I need to put a little extra on top. I'll probably just do that with some glue, or I might just put a bow or something on top. I don't know. It does have a different texture. I'm going to go and use some chalk paint. That way I can use some of these and just do some cool designs on it, see how it turns out. I also have some like white deco paint and some other ones. I might see what comes up on here and might do just some cool design works, maybe some Zentangle or something like that. And these ones, it's okay. I put these on with glue and everything, and some of them I knew would kind of bleed a little bit. The ones in pencil did really good, and these ones have some of the deco paint as well on them, and they kind of turned out really good, and they didn't really bleed or anything. And the pencil ones actually did pretty well. They didn't really bleed. When I kind of re-wet some of the paper, kind of gave it a weird color. This one just has some normal ink. Some of the sparkly ink and stuff, and so that kind of did fade into some of it. I don't have any paints, or I might just paint this thing white, but so I might just use some of the chalk paint as well, and then just do some designs and see how it looks like. I could always try using the ink pen type of thing, see if I can, let's see if I can get some full-on ink and use a paintbrush. Maybe I can do something like that. Yeah, I could do something like that. I might do something like that and just do some random sparkly ones and then come in with some other, maybe some of the chalk paint, doing some designs using that as the black, like a black marker, or I can use some other ones, but let's see. Let's get started. I'm going to put this on hyper mode because I'm done a couple different videos and I think I'm running out of space. So I'm going to do this in hyper mode and let's get this thing done. I have so many half-finished projects. I need to get a little more progress. So let's get this started. And plus this video is going to be really long anyway, so it helps save on space and stuff. Hi, Jinx. Is she drinking out of your bowl? Any clean up bowl? Alrighty, let's go into hyper mode to see if I can get this thing done. got this one pretty much done. The blue one worked really good. I was able to just kind of push the tip in there and then the ink would come out and I could use it like a paintbrush. The other one, the plain old deco tissue one, did not really do as well. Ink did not come out, so I ended up having to rub it on there and then get a little bit of water on my brush and use it like a watercolor. It turned out pretty cool. I'm gonna let this dry because once it gets a little bit wet, it kind of folds in on itself a little bit, so that this side kind of got really tissue paper. I should have added another layer like I did on this one with the other one. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll probably come back with some like black marker and maybe do some designs and stuff on it, and we'll see how it looks at the end of the thing, and maybe we'll do some fast forwarding on that one as well, but we'll get back to that after it dries. Now for this one, this one almost looks like a gourd. I'm gonna go and do some chalk paint, and let me wipe this off, and I'll just do some punting on this. I've had this for years. Hopefully it's still good. This is kind of a grayish color. Kind of grayish green, looks like. Whee. Almost look like a khaki-ish, ugly color. But once it dries, I'll be able to use my other markers to draw on it. And then you can, technically, you could probably go and do some, use a little water and wipe the ink off. But since this is kind of, I probably wouldn't recommend it with this thing. Ooh, that looks like a bird's turd. I'm going to put this on fast forward. This probably won't be as much of a pain in the butt to do as the other one. This looks like it's just almost just like a very thick paint. I could probably do it just normal fast forward, but let's get this going. Okay, so far both of them are done. Well, at least the paint part. I'm going to let them dry and reharden because this one kind of got a little floppy once it got a little water on it. Like I said, oh, excuse me. The flour and water works a lot better for stiffening some of these things up. So if you're going to do, and it's a lot cheaper too. Flour and just plain old water, half and half. Just make sure you blend it up pretty good and have a paintbrush you don't mind destroying. Because you will. So I'm going to go and wash this off, clean off my little thingies. I'm going to let this dry, you know, maybe overnight or a couple hours, then I'll come back and I might just do some, do I have any black, some markers, some bold black markers or something like that, but you know, some of my little Master Step cheapies. I think I have a black one that's like this as well somewhere. Or I can use some like glow ones as well, or a mix of each. And we'll see what it looks like afterward. And, you know, this is kind of messy but cute already. I'll try to do some, I wish I actually had some real paint and stuff. I can just use a paint in my hands. I thought this was black, but apparently it's kind of a greenish, khaki-ish color. So, anyways, we'll see how it turns out. It could be a flop, and I might really like it. Who knows? I could go either way. This kind of looks like a stove looking fireplace, one of those round egg-shaped ones that has the like the bricks and stuff inside of it. Anyways, we'll see what we got when we're done. Okay, this is the number one, and my gray one kind of looks like a greenish, I don't know. Either the two we'll be working with. I am gonna go and do some fast forwarding on this, and we'll see what they look like at the end of it. I think I'm gonna use some of the black marker on here, and then maybe just do some flowers, and then use some of the color ones and see how well they Let me do some testing on the bottom. Oh yeah, the color comes out here pretty good. And this is the ones that you can actually rub off. So I might do some flowers and other stuff, so I'll probably do mostly like some black with some flowers and things on this one. And this one I just might do some random designs. So let's first get this one started, and then we'll just go on to the next one. I got them done, and my neighbor called me when I was finishing that one off, and so it stopped my record button and it didn't realize it. So, but I got most of this one recorded. I really was not really happy with them when I got them all done up. They looked really blah and kind of gross, and painting it wasn't too bad, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised on how they kind of turned out. This one with the grayish green looking paint. This is like the dry erase stuff that you can actually, the chalk paint you can dry off, and I just had some really colorful glittery paint pens that I got from Hobby Lobby for like $4. This actually looks like something like an old-fashioned type of print that you'd see on a wall type of thing. It's actually, I really liked it. I don't have any eggs done up yet, so I'll try to get a thumbnail with both of them with eggs and all that, with all the goody stuff in it. I might actually go and try to do a big knot and have a rope type of thing, just so they can kind of dangle instead of actually making a base. And then this one, I kind of just did one side, which is some like swirls, black and the blue on it, hijacks, and then just kind of made the pictures into a type of brooches looking things. I just did some black around them and put some gold in them and sparkles and stuff, and then I also just did some swirls with silver, and then just kind of made them drop shadow on them. And so these were the two finished eggs. And like I said, these, I remember why, now I remember why we don't do these every year. They take a lot of time, and they are very, very messy. But you can do a lot with these. I've seen people where they're on some of their channels and stuff where they make the egg shape, and then they come back with like either beans or other types of string and make designs on them. Kind of like this with the string. It has the different designs and stuff, and they build it up, and so it's like three-dimensional, and then they paint them. You know, they have the basic ones, just the white eggs, and then they put stuff in them. You can make them like bowl shaped, and you can use anything from glue, just normal Elmer's glue, and just kind of do it, you know, a little bit of half Elmer's glue with a little bit of watered down. You can use the paste for like the some of the more expensive stuff, or the thing I found that worked the best was just plain old flour and water. It was like a brick when it was done. Unless you actually had to kind of wet it up a little bit, like when I was putting anything wet on it, it softened it up a little bit, then you'd have to let it dry a bit. But this one's actually flour and water, and this one is just plain old, like the different types of glue. And I used just plain old paper towels first, and then I cut up some, this one I cut up some flat paper to kind of make it more flat afterward. And it, out of both of them, I kind of like I like them both, but I like kind of this khaki greenish thing with a, I kind of like that one. It's ugly yet cute and old-fashioned looking thing, but this is also very nice and sparkly. And when you're doing the ones with the strings, it's really, really hard to, I kind of gave up on it, and everything was just falling apart, and then I just added some of the paper on top of it, and it just kind of made a wire cage for it, and it stiffened up really nicely, and it held the shape really nicely. And then with the holes in it, it looks really cool, and I'll probably just get some string on this one and just kind of have it dangle as well. They can just kind of tie it up if they want, or I might just want to freaking keep it. I like this one. I might want to get a shelf and put that on there. But anyways, those are my two Easter egg holder basket thingamabobbers. And if you feel like you want to do something a little different than just going to the store and buying stuff, if you just go to the dollar store, get some balloons, or if you have any leftover balloons anywhere, blow them up. Just need a little flour and water and some type of paper, and you can do this and just go through all your, I find these, like just the plain old markers, did not work that well. But I found the ones that did work really well was the dry erase chalk paint, and the actually these actually did work as well, and the paint pens, the metallic pens and stuff. These were just the cheapy ones that I got at Hobby Lobby, but I'm sure they have some other ones that are like just plain old paint pens. And of course the deco color paints also worked really well on them. But those are the ones that I used. And oh, and then just a plain old Sharpie. A black Sharpie actually worked. These were the generic kind that you get at Hobby Lobby, and they did not really work. But the plain old Sharpie, I don't know if the colored ones would work on it, but I know the Sharpie itself actually did work on it for the black. And it did really well, and actually comes out really nice. But yeah, if you have any dry erase, wet erase paint markers, or any other types of paint markers and stuff, I really like the gold and the glitter. It turned out really nice. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. This video is probably going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to try to cut up enough that we can keep it under an hour. So thank you for joining me on The Painful Life as I explore different types of art genres and see which ones I enjoy, which ones I don't, and which ones I need a lot more practice on. And, well, just having fun and just making pretty things is always nice. So I will see you next time, and hopefully you enjoyed this video, and it will give you some ideas for maybe this next spring or this next Easter or holiday or anything like that. And see you next time. Love y'all.